Hello friends, what's up? It's time for another balloon video with me, Mr. Majikyo, aka Eddie Bath, coming at you live from Tokyo, Japan. Today we're going to be talking about balloon princess hairstyles. Some of you may be familiar with the 260 balloon hair you do on princesses. Once you start using these quick link round balloons, there's a lot more things you can do with the hair to give your princesses different kinds of personalities. So let's get to it. So most of you are probably familiar with the 260 princesses. This is where you take two 260s, one for the skin color and another for the hair color. You join them together, you do a pinch twist and then a cylinder twist in the skin color, and then you follow up and down 3 times with the hair color, finishing at the back with this 3-bubble bird body or roll through, as it's called, and then we use the rest of these for the arms there. So that is the 260 version of the princess hair, but obviously as the balloons get bigger, you're going to start using more balloons, and then you're going to have more strands of hair, so there are different things you can do. So let's learn how to attach the hair to one of these quick link balloons. What we're going to do is we're going to take our 260, we're going to leave about a hand's length, and we're just going to make a pinch twist for our connection point. And then we're going to wrap that into this long nozzly piece of the quick link. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come down to meet this nozzle here, but we don't need to use the whole half circumference of this balloon because then we're going to have too much hair. So we're going to use slightly less. So about that much, and then we're going to pull it in to the bottom nozzle joint. And now we're just going to come back up and match that on this side. Match that, and then let's do that again. We'll come down, wrap it into the nozzle, and then come back up. And we'll bring it down one last time. So now we have the basis for our hair. As you can see, we've got this extra piece sticking out. And so when you're doing princess hair, you're actually something you need to think about. You need to think about what you're going to be wanting to have coming out of the back of the princess's head. Do you want her to have long wavy hair? Do you want to give her a bun? Do you want to give them pigtails at the back? That's something you need to decide before you start going up and down on the balloon. For this one, we're not going to have anything, so I'll just snap that. Now, another thing to note when doing the princess hair is when you're actually doing the princess, I like to attach the quick link to the body first, because when I find making the hair just like this, I find that the nozzle of the quick link and the different bits of balloon here start pulling all in different directions, and then I have this kind of messy look where they're not all coming into the same attachment point. If this was already attached to the head, they would all fix into that same joint. So we've got our base for our hair locked down. Now we can start adding the highlights. With the second 260, I'm going to use a technique to give her this fringe. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to twist off a 1-finger bubble and make a pinch twist in that. And now this is actually going to be a friction connection point. This is not going to be tied to anything. All I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck it behind one of these pieces of hair here, roughly in the middle. I just tuck it behind, like so. And then I'm going to bring it up into my connection point. And now I can bring it down the other side, do another pinch twist, and tear off the rest of this balloon. I'll now tuck this pinch twist that I've made under this side. And you can see that this princess now has a fringe. This would look nice for a Snow White or something like that. And we can look at the back. She doesn't have any hair coming out the back. Please note, when you're doing this kind of hair with nothing coming out the back, you're going to need a pinch twist in the front of the dress and a pinch twist in the back to keep the head straight, to support it. The pinch twist in the front will push the head back, and the pinch twist at the back will push the head forward to keep it straight. If you have long hair, the pinch twist in the front holds it, pushes it back, and the hair at the back pushes it forward, keeping the head straight. What I see a lot of times on hair designs is people have the hair meeting in the front like this. And then it looks like she's wearing some kind of bonnet or something because you can't actually see her face. This is supposed to be her hair, but then it starts to look like an Inuit coat or something like that. So what we want to do is we want to make sure this hair is actually more at the back and we can see the front of this face with this nozzle clearly. Okay, we've laid down the base with one 260 balloon for this princess's head. And now we're going to use another 260 balloon to put some highlights and a fringe on with a balloon manipulation technique. So we'll attach our second 260 into the pinch twist at the top, into this head joint. And now we're going to come down along the side of the face, but about halfway, we're going to pinch and twist. And then we're going to squeeze the air out, all while twisting here to get a line of balloon, which we can pull down into the neck joint, or in this circumstance, into this nozzle. And then we will tie that. And then you should have this balloon that has this taper effect. And to get it even more, you can pull the balloon behind and push this one in. You can also do that in the reverse. When you come back up the other side, you're going to squeeze the air out, push it behind, and then bring it up, again squeezing the air out. And so now we have this tapered effect on both sides of the balloon, which gives the princess some more character. With the rest of the balloon, we don't need that. We tear it off. And that is another way you can create a slightly different hairstyle. It's got this organic style to it. It's not exactly geometric, but I think it looks nice. The more you practice these princess heads, you're actually going to know what kind of hairstyle you want before you start. For example, this one here, we've used 2 balloons to get this nice fringe here and to fill out the back of the head. Now, for example, if I wanted some nice flowing hair, I would have to add another 260. Now, the problem with that is I'd add another 260, but the maximum amount of strands I could get using one more 260 will be 2, because obviously 260s only have 2 ends, the nozzle end and the tail end. So if I want to have some flowing hair, 4 strands, for example, I'm going to have to use another 2 260s to do that. However, if you know you're going to want this long flowing hair before you start, that's something you can do in advance. So for example, if we're going to be doing the aerial hair, you can actually use one of the ends of your 260 already as the first strand of hair you're going to have coming out the back. You're going to tie that into the bottom of the head and then come up to the top joint there. Make your connection point pinch twist and come back down. So now we already have 1 strand of hair coming out the back of the head. Let's come back down, twist that in, that's 2, come back up, 3, and come back down. That's 4. So you can see we've already got the base of the hair here, and we've actually got 2 strands already coming out the back. And so if we do that one more time, we can get 1 more strand of hair to come out the back. And now we've already got our base, so we can use the rest of the balloon to make whatever kind of hairstyle we want. So let's do some of that balloon manipulation again. get that taper effect. And then we can do the same on the other side. Now, one more interesting thing you can do with hair is it doesn't need to just come down directly along this line. You could actually put it out a bit like this and make this big super fringe shape that she has, and then tie that in. And so there, we're just using the friction of the balloon to get these different hairstyles. Let's have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 strands of hair coming out the back. Push that head slightly further in. And now some of these are pretty higgledy-piggledy at the back, but you can tear that off. And once it's torn off, you can see we've got these strands of hair at the back. Now, they're not all the same length, so even I need a little bit more practice at that, but I think you get the general idea. That's just about saving time. So we managed to do this all with 2 balloons, and we've got a full hair of head, and we've got this nice hairstyle there for Ariel. Today we learned how to do the fringe technique using a pinch twist as a connection point that you just put behind the balloon. We also learned some balloon manipulation where you stretch the balloon to give it this tapered effect. And lastly, we learned how to use the friction of the balloon. You can move the bits of the balloon and tuck them behind to get a hairstyle you like, as well as just going up and down. And lastly, we learned about the importance of deciding where to actually start with your first balloon. If you're going to want hair coming out the back, you're going to need to use one of the nozzle ends to make sure you have that. Otherwise, you're going to have to use too many extra balloons. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.